Before I get into this video, I just want to give a quick trigger warning. This video does talk about eating disorders. I'm going to do my best to minimize the triggers, but because of the subject matter, I can only do so much because that's what we're talking about today. But I just wanted to say that in case you're in a vulnerable place, this may not be the right video for you, but I myself have an ED, and I personally am gonna do everything in my power to minimize the triggers, but I just wanted to say that before I get into this video. So if you would like to continue watching it, then hi, I'm Erica. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Erica. I make content about disability. I do some social commentary. I do disability friendly workouts. I just do all tons of stuff here on my channel. And today I'm going to be talking and reacting to a video that YouTube personality Shallon Lester made about Demi Lovato's debacle with the frozen yogurt shop. If you don't know what happened, Demi Lovato, who I'm sure you all know, she went to a frozen yogurt shop in LA, and it had options for sugar-free and gluten-free and vegan, and I guess that she found that triggering, so she called out this small yogurt shop on her big platform, and so she's taking a lot of heat from that. And before I get really into this, I want to give a disclaimer that I'm neither a fan of Demi Lovato's nor Shallon Lester's, but I feel like in this case, although I don't approve of how Demi went about the situation, the amount of hate she's been getting online is unwarranted, and also I feel like a lot of people, instead of criticizing the way she went about it, they're criticizing people with eating disorders and trivializing what it means to be triggered by something. So I just want to say that before I get into it, just so you kind of know where I'm coming from and it doesn't seem like it's coming out of left field. Sorry if I keep reaching down. I have my notes here, and for some reason it keeps turning the page, which is really annoying, but I'm gonna try to make this work. I'm gonna pull up the video right now and get started. Okay, so before the video even starts, she posted the same video on Instagram, which I mean, I get that she did that so she could get more viewers, but her thumbnail on Instagram said only losers are triggered, and that alone turned me off to anything she had to say. I studied writing in college, and starting your argument off like that is the wrong way to go about it, because it's gonna turn people away.
Have energy for war. And why war? Shallon, what are you talking about, girl? You know that's not what we do here on the channel. You're right. On our channel, We take celebrity breaking news, we take a scandal, and we break it down for what we can learn from it. We get a good emotional lesson, a dating lesson, whatever it might be out of it. Not today. Not today. Today is just going to be 25 minutes of dragging this woman to hell and back. Why? Because that seems to be what she's doing with her time. So Demi, would you like me to meet you down there in the gutter? Hey, I'm real flexible. I have a lot of lower body strength. Here I come, sweetheart. So here's what's going on with Demi.
Shred Demi Lovato to pieces. And it's like, that's uncalled for. I don't agree with what Demi Lovato did, but you don't have to shred her to pieces.
Like to be the victim. And some people...
Sorry, I put down some time stamps on my notes.
She went into a frozen yogurt store, saw some sugar-free baked goods, and lost her mind. Because some people like to be the victim. And some people get off on going after those who are lower than them on the food chain. And those people right now are embodied by Demi Lovato. Typically, we call them a Karen, so we got Karen Lovato. My phone corrects her name to Dummy Lovato, and I'm like, finally, an autocorrect I can get behind. Can you tell me your best worst autocorrect? My phone will correct haha to gags. Love you, Mama.
So she's now calling Demi Lovato Dummy Lovato, and it's like, there's no need for name calling. I don't call Shallon Lester hello Lester, although an argument can be made that would be a very fitting nickname for her, but I'm not going to call her that because, like, there's no point in that.
So she went on this Instagram tirade against this bakery, and they wrote back saying these sugar-free desserts are for people with diabetes.
No, and now
it's triggering. I haven't eaten it, and it's triggering for all the little girls. Nothing makes me crazier than when people go on their insane rampage and claim it's for the little girls. It's for the little girls.
Is mocking the word trigger, and she's mocking people with eating disorders, which that's not okay. You don't get to mock people for a mental illness. Shallon, like, grow up. I'm sorry if I'm getting very heated in this video. It's just, I have an eating disorder, and it really pisses me off when people act this way. It pisses me off. And
bitch, no, it's not. 5-year-olds are fine. They can't even read. You think they care? Mom, is that professional victims, professional assholes who spend their life just complaining, right? At the end, they can't even read. You think they care? Mom, is that a sugar-free dessert? They don't fucking care. It's for weak ego losers.
She calls people that are triggered weak ego losers. No, Shallon. Triggers are actually, that's a mental health term for people with mental illness, and it's something that causes someone to have an episode of their mental illness. So in the case of an eating disorder, it may be something that causes you to have negative. We're going to go into it too much because that can be triggering to people, and I don't want to do that.
Like them, professional victims, professional assholes who spend their life just complaining. At the end of the day, this is an incredibly blessed person who just hates it, hates everything. I was thinking the other day, well, yes, I got back to Montana and I went to go pick up something, whatever, it doesn't matter. I got on the freeway and I almost didn't because I was like, what if there's traffic? And I'm like, Shallon, there's not traffic, you're in Montana. I should have listened to my intuition. This is like a good intuitive lesson. Turns out I got like a quarter mile down the road, dead standstill for 30 minutes. There was a huge accident. I mean, huge. To the point where there was like ambulance, fire trucks, and we all moved over and everything. And then a helicopter landed on the freeway. I've never seen this before. A medevac helicopter landed They shoved someone onto it and it took off. And when the traffic opened up, we drove by and it was this truck. It was a big truck. And it was like the hand of God had just crunched it up. There was almost nothing left of it. I can't fathom how that happened. But the entire rest of the day, because I was in a bad mood, just got back from Mexico. I was like, meh. I was just crabby, just pre-menstrual crabby. I saw that and I'm like, it's like good. It chokes me up just thinking about it. It's like that person got up this morning. They said goodbye to their wife, their dog, their hamster. And their life might be over. We don't know what happened. I mean, at the very least, their life will never be the same. Their body will never be the same. Their mind might not be. And I felt so ashamed of myself.
And then a helicopter landed on the freeway.
And I think a lot of this, I would call this virtue signaling, because she's saying, like, oh, look at this poor person, and I'm so great, because when I saw this, it snapped me out of my, like, how do you thinking, but Demi Lovato doesn't do this, so she's a bad person. And, like, no. Shallon was mad because she was stuck in traffic. Demi was triggered by something, and whether I would personally find that triggering or whether I would go about addressing a trigger in a way that Demi did, I would not. But that doesn't matter, because it was still a trigger for her. And I'm not gonna make fun of that. I may be annoyed about the way she went about it, and I feel like she abused her platform, but I'm not gonna make fun of Demi for being triggered by something.
Never seen this before. A medevac helicopter landed, they shoved someone onto it, and it took off pad.
No, and she goes on about this for far too long, and I'm like, you're using somebody else's tragedy, somebody else's trauma to show that you're like a caring person. No, I'm just not about that. I say no to that.
For complaining, just internally, just grousing myself, like the way I had. And I was just imbued with such a sense of gratitude all day. And I go back to that. It's like, oh, fuck, look at my life. I'm alive. Look at my actual life. This bitch has not 1 ounce of that. Not 1 ounce. We all watched her documentary. Well, I did. You're welcome. And I did videos on it. And I started like rooting for her. And by the end, I'm like, yo, cannot get on board with this. Because first of all, there was no shame or embarrassment after her overdose. Not that I saw. Not like you should live your life in a shame state, but it should be like a healthy dose of, wow, to keep you on the straight and narrow. I didn't see any of that. And you know what else I didn't see? Gratitude. I didn't see any. Thank God I'm alive. What a chance. I've been given a second chance. I am truly born again. What am I going to do with this second chance? How am I going to change the world? How am I going to help people? How am I going to help myself? And this frozen yogurt fuckface bullshit.
We all walked.
No, and she's saying that after Demi's overdose a few years ago, I think now, she made that documentary, and Shallon says Demi didn't show signs of shame or guilt from her overdose. Why should someone with a mental illness be ashamed of their mental illness and feel guilty about the way it affects others? This is victim blaming. Victim blaming at its worst. When I was in treatment for my eating disorder, I don't want to go into this too much, because ultimately it's not really my story to tell, but we would have this like family night where the families of the patients would come in, and some of the family members would talk about how their loved one's ED was negatively affecting them and was ruining their life. And that's not how you treat anybody. You don't say your illness is affecting my life, so fuck you. No, no, Shallon, no.
Shit. Sorry, I feel like I'm swearing a lot. I am still in a bad mood. That is proof positive to me. This woman is not grateful. She is not different. She will likely overdose again. So we're going to go through all 8 minutes and 25 agonizing seconds of this video that she posted on IG because she didn't stop. Like, after people were like, shut up, Karen Lovato. She's like, no, triggered. She just kept going. So we're going to watch it together. We're going to rant together because I know it's hard for you guys to watch. But maybe if I do it and like rant your feelings, we can all get through it together. But before we get into it, if you have a question, submit to me. If you want to rant to me in private, head to my website, shallonlester.com, and click submit a question. Also, if you want some sexy sex tips, penis talk, story times, and evil week, I'm in an evil mood, head over to flays.com. All these links are right down below, and you can also shop my merch like this. Enjoy them, destroy them. Today, we're going to do the latter. So Demi, should we get it going? Let's get it going. So she went on this IG live dressed, looking from the neck up, she looks like Liza Minnelli. That could not be less of a compliment. And she's wearing Drew House. You want to talk triggered, sweetheart? I'm triggered. I'm also triggered by your red and pink, like TJ Maxx clearance bin drapes that you have in the background. Are you trying to make your house look like the inside of a vagina? Because she's so queer. She's just the queerest. Like, stop talking about everything, you fucking weird.
In 6:30.
Sex tips, penis talk, story times, and evil week. I'm in an evil mood. Head over to flays.com. All these links are right down below, and you can also shop my merch like this. Enjoy and destroy them. Today, we're gonna do the latter. So Demi, should we get it going? Let's get it going. So she went on this IG live dressed, looking from the neck up, she looks like.
And now she's mocking what Demi's wearing and like her background, and it's like that has nothing to do with your argument. You're really taking away from any valid criticisms you may have. Shallon's just turning me off from that.
Liza Minnelli, that could not be less of a compliment. And she's wearing Drew House. You want to talk triggered, sweetheart? I'm triggered. I'm also triggered by.
No, and now she's saying she's triggered by Demi's outfit. That's not what a trigger is. I said this already, but it is something that causes someone to have an episode with their mental health. And Shallon is not a slang term to be thrown around, so please don't do that. That pisses me off. And then she goes on to be biphobic as fuck by saying that Demi's only wearing this because she's trying to be so queer. She's so queer. Shut up, Shallon. Stop being biphobic. Stop relying on bigotry to make an argument, because that really just reflects on you more than it reflects on the person you're trying to criticize. Like, Demi may do things I don't agree with, but I'm not gonna make fun of Demi for her sexuality, because that's not relevant to whether she's a good person or not. But apparently, to Shallon, nothing is off limits. So she has to pick apart everything about somebody.
What's up, everybody?
I do like that palm leaf wallpaper. I like that.
Okay,
Oh my god. Girl, you can click record after.
So, I have kind of gotten in the middle of something with this yogurt shop called The Big Chill in Century City.
We can stop right there. I've gotten in the middle of something. Do you notice there's no accountability? I started something for no real reason. I have got, like, the hand of God dropped me in the middle of this frozen yogurt shop argument. I don't think so. One thing victims do, they distance themselves from any sort of accountability, right? Nothing's their fault. They're the victim.
Now, I am very outspoken about the things that I believe in. I understand that sometimes my messaging can lose its like meaning when I get emotional, right? I am human. I am somebody who is just very passionate about what I believe in, and I've lived through enough to know when to speak up for people who don't have a voice. When I messaged this froyo place, like originally I wanted to make a point and I wanted to call out behaviors or branding things that didn't sit right with me. Because the truth of the matter is, as someone that deals with an eating disorder, like is in recovery from an eating disorder, I still to this day have a...
And when Demi is saying that she's in recovery from an eating disorder, Shallon does this. What is that? Why the air quotes? Why the rolling your eyes? Yes, Demi had an eating disorder. Well, whether you believe that or not is really up to you. But Demi is saying she has this issue and you're using air quotes and rolling your eyes? Oh, God. Editing me here. I just wanted to say that something I forgot to say in the video before is that also, like, Demi Lovato is probably not going to see Shallon's disgusting video, but you know who will see it? Regular people with eating disorders, and it's really going to hurt people. Like, it's like, I think there was a tweet once about, like, Kamala Harris and how, like, like, she's not going to see you say sexist and racist things about her, but the women, especially the women of color in your life, are going to see that, and that's who it's going to hurt. And I feel like that's what Shallon, either she just doesn't understand it, or maybe she just doesn't give a shit. And that really annoys me. Oh my God.
Hard time walking into a froyo shop.
Then why were you there?
And being content with it and keeping it down. I know that seems like not a huge deal to a lot of people, but for me it is.
Then why
So by the time
were
I got
you
to
there? You want to know a reason I'm in a bad mood? I am on an absolutely draconian diet right now. I am. I'm eating like not very many calories a day. I'm only doing it like for 5 days. It's this prolonged fast. It's like resetting like sugar cravings and bloat. It's just like, it's not an ad. I'm just telling you. So like, you know what I don't do? Just creep through a bakery. And if I did, the last thing I would do would be like, fuck you, like swatting cupcakes out of people's hands because they were triggering me. You're all triggering me. When I was in Mexico, I posted some photo. I mean, I posted a lot of photos. And you know what someone said? This stands out to me because it's truly one of the stupidest comments I've ever received in my career on social media. And that's saying something. She's like, Shallon, I love you, but this is not a vibe. This is not a vibe. This is not a vibe. Like, I'm eating like not very many calories a day.
And now Shallon is talking about her diet, and which, I mean, that's a pretty low thing to do when you're talking about somebody with an eating disorder, is to then bring up your diet. And I get upset by this because, well, especially in my early days in recovery, and I still kind of consider myself in recovery because I don't know if my eating disorder is something that's ever going to completely go away, but right now I'm doing pretty okay in recovery. But people would always compare that to being on a diet, and I'm like, a diet is something you choose. It's something temporary. And eating disorder is something in your brain that makes you destroy yourself. Like, that's the best way to explain it. You're basically just destroying yourself, whether that's your intention or not. It's not the same as being on a diet. And it's not the same as you going to a restaurant and you're on a diet and they have these options that don't fit into the diet you're on, and that may make you want to eat those foods. That's not the same as having an eating disorder and going somewhere and being triggered by something, and that can set you back. That can set you really back in recovery. Like, it's really difficult for me to be around people that talk about their diet, but diet talk is everywhere, unfortunately. And like, I know it's on me to deal with my triggers, but people don't have to unnecessarily be triggering. And so then she goes,
My life. That's the things I do. That's the crowd I run with. This is who I am. She's like, it's been a hard week for people of color. You shouldn't be posting this. I would love it if somebody could show me 1 week, well, one day, 1 hour, 1 minute out of human civilization that wasn't hard for someone. Just 1 minute. Oh, wait, you can't? Is there suffering everywhere? Is there glory, though, everywhere? Is there happiness everywhere? For every person who dies, someone's born, right? For every high, there's a low. This is life. And for people to say, Shallon, you're triggering me by being on a yacht because I can't afford a yacht. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. The word triggered should not exist. It is a word that weak-egoed losers apply to their own weak-egoed loseriness. It is a word that people use when they have zero coping mechanisms to move through the world. Everything triggers me. I see a truck that's better than mine. I'm like, I'm not like, you're triggering. Excuse me, can you write it out? You are triggering me with that lifted Ram 3500 on 37. You're triggering. Can you hear me? Do you want to come closer? Trigger. And yet, I don't apply a word to it. It is simply the natural way we move through the world. I feel like I'm eating fucking crazy pills right now. Is anyone else feeling this way? The fact that we even have to explain this in 2020, we put a man on the moon like 65 fucking years ago, and now we're explaining like why there's going to be differences between human beings on planet Earth? Is this where we're back to? I'm sorry.
Counter after seeing so much diet stuff and health food stuff, like it wasn't clear to me that it was for health food stuff.
Health food stuff. So you can agree that these things are healthy?
Okay, I'm going into a froyo shop, I'm seeing sugar-free, I'm seeing this and that. If there was a sign that said celiac, vegan, I would have understood. That would have been clear messaging to me. Because it wasn't clear, I'm definitely jumped to conclusions, and
who the fuck owes Demi Lovato a sign? Hey, did she forget diabetics exist? Let's also just go back to, you are allowed to eat whatever food you want. I can eat a sugar-free cookie whether I'm hypoglycemic or not. Some people like it. I prefer Diet Coke over regular Coke. Again, do we have to explain this? I don't need to put a sign on something to explain to a weak-egoed loser why it exists. I feel like I'm having a stroke right now trying to find the logic, because the logic is so base and so simple. This video might kill me. This might kill me.
I'm willing to talk to this froyo shop to help get the messaging right. Another thing that a lot of people don't know, I guess it's something that must be an LA thing.
Oh, don't bring
A
California into
lot
this.
of people who have struggled with anorexia, I myself, like, froyo was something that I would go to because it was
goes on to compare someone being triggered to being jealous of somebody's nice car. You can't make this shit up. She's really comparing having a mental illness and being triggered to wanting a nice car and being pissed off that someone else has a nice car and she doesn't, which, I mean, she does have a nice car. Trust me, she's rich enough to have a nice car. It's not the same thing. You can't compare the two. You can't conflate the two. No. And also, another thing that annoyed me was, so she's talking about how she went on, I'm sorry that I'm like laughing a lot. I'm laughing so I don't scream. But she was talking about how she recently went on a vacation to Mexico, which hopefully she was following COVID guidelines, but that's a story for another day. But so she was saying she went to Mexico and she posted pictures on social media, and someone commented like along the lines of, "I love you, Shallon, but it's been a hard week for people of color, so this is an insensitive post." And she was annoyed about that because she's like, somebody's always gonna be having a worse time than you, which is true, but didn't you just say that to Demi? Like, you said, "Oh, I saw this car crash and so people are dying and you're talking about sugar-free yogurt." Well, first of all, Shallon, eating disorders have the second highest mortality rate of any psychiatric disorder. It's right after opioid addiction, but so it has a very high mortality rate. Like, I think it's like every hour one person dies from an eating disorder. So first of all, they are deadly, they are serious, they're not something to trivialize. But second of all, she's a hypocrite for saying that, because she's like, I can have a nice time even though people of color are suffering. But you know what? Demi Lovato, she's not allowed to be struggling with her eating disorder if somebody's in a car crash. How the hell does that make sense? It does not. And, like, I know this video doesn't go into a lot of the real issues with Shallon Lester, and if you want to know more, I highly suggest you check out both D'Angelo Wallace and Rachel Oates. They have videos on Shallon Lester, and they were excellent videos. And there's no way I can recreate that. Like, that's their thing. It's not mine. I'm never gonna make those videos, but I do enjoy watching them, and I highly recommend that if you want to know more about the real issues with Shallon Lester, please go watch those, because you'll see how she's just not, she has the, I'm not going to say she's not a good person, but she has some terrible patterns of behavior that have been going on for years. So I'm going to leave you with that, because, like, this was a very upsetting video for me to make personally. Last night, I watched half of the video of Shallon Lester, and honestly, I was getting so angry that I was almost in tears. Like, that's how pissed off this got me. Because to me, it hits very close to home, even though I still disagree with what Demi Lovato did. But that does not warrant this behavior from Shallon Lester. She doesn't get to trivialize eating disorders. She needs to shut up. And so do I. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you have not already and you would like to, please subscribe. I recently hit 100 subscribers, which I am so thankful for. Thank you for everybody who's subscribed. I really appreciate it, and I hope to bring more videos that you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.